What's up, Fortnite? It's the one, the only, Sticky Basket. And scene. I've been catching a lot of flack for my rating scale recently. Amazingly, people aren't the nicest when they're on the internet. I thought it would have been more like The Matrix, but it turns out Morpheus was really just a character played by Lawrence Fishburne. Anyways, Reddit or Tumblr or whatever kids are on nowadays is losing its mind over my 13-point scale, so I figured I'd break it down. The 13 is a theoretical perfect, which means it doesn't exist for any reason other than to balance the scale. A 12 is flawless, which is based in hype matching execution of whatever media is being measured. It's very rare and only specifies rating as of the time it came out. 11 is strictly reserved for Spinal Tap. 10 might as well not exist because nothing gets a 10. Seven and 9 is good to different extents, while 1 to 6 are varying degrees of bad. And scene. Now that that's been cleared up, I hope the hate mail stops so I can talk about the top 3 movies of 2019. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had me looking at my watch during several scenes. 9 out of 13. The Lighthouse changed my view of Robert Pattinson. 9 out of 13. Alita Battle Angel was well told. The pacing of action and story kept me waiting excitedly for each step. The love story was admittedly the weakest part because Hugo was a flawed character, so Alita's strengths were more well defined. Fans of the manga know the story gets better as it goes on, so personally, I'm looking forward to the story's continuation. 10 out of 13. And scene. This game is broken, not in how you move or its appearance, but loading a save starts a new game. What I find most disappointing in this is I was looking forward to playing Jet Set Radio all the way through to rate it accurately, but much like carnivores in the savannah, I only had the chance to sink my teeth into half of it. The experience was unsatisfying because it resulted in a deeper hunger for the games of yesteryear. A time when every game was a risk because the industry had already failed several times before, so instead of 50 iterations of Goat Simulator, there is a melting pot of new IPs being crafted. Unfortunately, it's been long enough that I've begun to doubt Power Stone coming to PC. As the greatest game of the Dreamcast era, it's only fitting that it died with the console. Don't get me wrong, virtual vandalism is fun, but there's something I miss about the unique and nightmarish enemies of Power Stone. In the age of Uber, anyone can live the fantasy of Crazy Taxi, but no matter how many stones I collect, I'll never transform into the Mad Clown, which is pretty disappointing. Luckily, it's not all bad, because hope for another age of creative passion lives on. And much like a festering wound creates a circumstantial drive to the hospital for treatment, that hope produces a generation of people seeking new means of expression, pushing the very definition of artistry to realms that were once impossible to imagine. What fascinates me is the insatiability of this all-consuming hope. No matter how far we've come, there's still a long road ahead, and the finish is right around the next bend. And scene. For the flaws this game has, I still find the scale tips favorably. It creates a pseudo-dystopia in which inline skates are cool. The fantasy aspect allows me to not experience the blisters that surely would result from supercharged skates constantly being worn. The arcade-like feel helps mitigate the lack of functional saving, but not quite overcome it because rarely do I have time to spend 8 continuous hours on a game. For those reasons, I have to give this game a 7 out of 13. And scene. Yeah, these dogs ought to stop him. Meanwhile, the cops have the driver from Crazy Taxi driving them. And time to make a smooth getaway. Ugh. If only I had some supercharged skates to get over to that water tower. Thankfully, some hoodlums already put some paint cans back here, so good to finish up my masterpiece. Another major aspect of this game is recruiting people into your inline skate gang by performing cool tricks. Then with the help of these recruits, you can take down other inline skate gangs all on your own, because the power of friendship does something.